I think I can start it. Can I start it? Okay. Hey everyone. Good afternoon. So my name is Huan Li. I'm a machine learning GD. So before I start my share, so I want to ask how many people here has using open source project? Have been using? Yeah, almost everyone. So how many of you have ever contributed to open source project? Oh, almost half, right? And how many of you is a maintainer or author, creator of the open source project? No? Okay. Oh, we have one. That's great. So my topic is how to harnessing LLM to power an open source community coaching chatbot. So what does it mean? Let's start it from the open source, from Linux, right? So Linux side, the founder of the Linux, he said, I'm lazy person, which is why I like open source. For other people can do work for me, right? So it's like before Linux, open source Linux, maybe his life is like this: eating, sleeping, coding, and repeating. So it's like just doing coding every day. But maybe after open source, she just could, because many people join the community and contribute to their work, so allowing him to focusing on just eating, sleeping, and repeating, right? No coding anymore, which means really efficient. So open source has a long history, and 10 years before Linux published Linux, Richard Stallman founded the free software foundation, GNU. So GNU Linux leads the open source for decades until now. So today, almost all open source projects and developers have started working on GitHub. So looking at this GitHub growth chart, we can see that there are already more than 100 million open source developers so far. That's a lot. And according to a recent report by this GitNux, over 96% of applications include at least one open source component. And if that wasn't impressive enough, nearly all new software projects heavily rely on open source components with open adoption rate almost 99%. It's safe to say that open source is really making in the world of software, right? And a little bit about more about me. I'm the author of the wechaty, and I have been recognized as a GitHub star. I'm the book author of Chatbot 021 and TensorFlow 2, and also a conversational AI enthusiast. I build chatbots all the time. So I'm so excited about today's LLM because in addition to my passion of AI, I keep building chatbot, and before chatbot is still super stupid, right? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I built a few startups before, and I also graduated from Huan University. I moved to Silicon Valley 2 years ago. So let me explain my open source project, wechaty. wechaty is a conversational AI RPA SDK for chatbot builders, enabling them to automate personalized interaction on messaging platforms such as WhatsApp and WeChat. So a personal account refers to have like everyone here, you have a WhatsApp account, and the links to your mobile phone number. With this account, you can exchange messages with your friends. However, if you want to build a program to help you to receive messages or even help you to reply messages to your friends, there's no official API from WhatsApp to help you to do this. And so does WeChat in China. What if you want to do some chatbot automation with your own personal account on your WhatsApp, right? So wechaty is born for this. With wechaty, you can just using wechaty API to do anything you can do with your WhatsApp account, like receiving and sending message, and wechaty do all the heavy lift for you. We currently support WhatsApp and WeChat perfectly, and also we have the plan to support like Instagram, LinkedIn, almost all the instant messaging messages we using daily. So let me show you why developers love the wechaty project with our most famous 6 lines of the code. Because our goal is to help the developers to build chatbot very easily to run it on WhatsApp, WeChat, etc. So this 6 lines of the code is the minimum chatbot built with wechaty. It's very short and concise. We can easily see we have some events like scan, login, and message, and we have the callback function to handle all the logic. Like the scan event will show the QR code for logging in, and the login event will emit after the account has logged in. And if you receive any messages, there's a message event. You can write your own callback. So this is all we need to do this chatbot at the beginning, and because it's very easy to use and support have the huge user base instant messaging platform like WeChat and WhatsApp. So in the past 8 years, we have increased to almost 20,000 GitHub stars so far. And our community includes developers from top companies like Google, Microsoft, Tencent, and many others. They find our project quite useful in building chatbots for WhatsApp and WeChat. And also our community organizes meetups in various locations, such as Silicon Valley, Seattle, Beijing, and other cities in China. Additionally, we've had the opportunity to speak in lots of major developer conferences like Google, Microsoft, and others, discussing how to create top-notch chatbots for MVP and production. So after many years of building, our open source wechaty SDK on GitHub has a thriving community. However, we've noticed that new developers have very significant challenges when they trying to use our open source project, as well as other similar projects. Like the main difficulty lies in getting started with a new open source project. Therefore, improving the developer experience and helping them succeed with wechaty will greatly contribute to the success of our wechaty community. The biggest challenge is that it is hard for developers to getting started from a new open source project. Helping new developers get started with wechaty easily, smoothly, and successfully will greatly improve the developer experiences, and it will be a key contributor to the wechaty community's success. For every new developers, there are 3 main tasks involved in the onboarding process. Navigate documentation, dealing with coding issues, and running and deploying source code. So first, everyone needs to learn how to navigate the documentation. This is important because they may be unfamiliar with the SDK or environment they are working with. Then they have to familiar with themselves with the API when writing new source code, which can easily result in mistakes and consume a significant amount of the time. And at last, they face challenges when it comes to running and deploying the source code, such as version compatibility issues with Linux environments and the library dependencies. So new developers often struggle to get support due to detailed or reproduced questions, making it difficult for community to assist. Experienced developers might not have the time to respond to all questions, overwhelming those who want to help. For example, I always wish I could help, but I can't because there are so many questions and it's not very easy to understand the question most of the time. So for our open source community, one issue we want to address is the lack of support for developers. Many struggle to find assistance with their detailed or reproducible questions. It's hard to get feedback or ask questions on platforms like Discord. Additionally, community members may not have the time to respond to all the inquiries, so limiting the help available. How can we help developers to get better onboarding experience? It would be great if we can just ask any question to experienced senior community developer when some new developer have any question like documentation, coding, and deployment. So the solution for us is for our community is to create a chatbot that can handle all onboarding questions for our new developers. So if the bot can give real-time, accurate answers, that would be ideally solve most of the problems and improve the new developer onboarding experience. Finally, nurture a healthy and active open source community. We developed a bot called Freddy, started from 2019. The goal of building Freddy bot is to help the community to assist our developers as possible as we can. So our journey with Freddy bot begins in 2019, initially focusing on very simple but effective community management tasks. So for example, in our group, the bot can kick out some bad people by voting from our members. And we have lots of keyword-based commands, and most of them powered by regex. And also, we use lots of AI API from like API.ai Dialogflow before. And the Louis Q&A Maker is like the Microsoft version of the Dialogflow. And also Rasa, if you know, it's the open source version of the Dialogflow. We use a lot, but it's like, it's very hard to do the job very well. But after the LLM era, it's like the large language model generates very high quality answers for questions about docs, API, and deployments. So if we use good prompting. So the reason LLM can have this very good knowledge of our open source project wechaty is because we have 8 years of history on GitHub, and we have almost 20 GitHub stars. And the most important, we have lots of forks. And on GitHub, there's more than 30,000 of other open source projects, which is our dependent, which means they use our SDK API to build open source projects. So we have lots of open source code on GitHub already. The LLM has quite good knowledge about our project already. So this is a very simple testing with the Gemini. So we can just ask very clear question about like this, how to write a chatbot. This I don't think it's clear enough, but basically it's said that if some people send you a WhatsApp message, said room A, and your bot will help you to automatically invite these people to a group called room A. So you can define multiple rooms, like if other people send you room B, you can invite them to room B. It's quite simple. So with this very short requirement natural language, the Gemini almost can generate 100% precise source code using our SDK. So it's very, very efficient and high quality. This is our first test. So after that, the high-quality source code generated by LLM so inspired us to developing the Freddy bot on our Discord platform. This bot acts as a virtual assistant to developers, helping them achieve 3 main goals. So providing quick documentation answers, and offering AI assistance, and delivering accurate code examples. This example underscores the transformative potential of AI in automating and simplifying tasks, particularly in large community. So many developers frequently ask about starting with wechaty and the platforms it supports. So this is a documentation example. From this example, we can see if you ask some documentation related question in our Discord, the Freddy bot can give you really easy and correctly answer. And by the way, I have the QR code in the screen. If you scan this, you can join this Discord server, and you can just try the Freddy bot by yourself. It's live now, so you can just play with it. You can try to ask any kind of question. And this slide is for ask documentation questions. So and this slide is to you can ask Freddy also some API question. like this example is to sending images to our friends, like how to send an image to my friends, right? And some other like similar, like how I can save a video sent from my friends to me in the conversation. Friday is here to help you to get very simple and clear source code, so you can very easy to getting started with some source code. And lastly, if users encounter run into some common challenges that might face during the deployment of the source code, some very common questions, the Freddy bot can also give you very good answers. Like this is if you use JavaScript, the latest JavaScript use ESM loader, and if you the setting is not correctly, you will running inside some problem like this. But you just can copy paste this issue to our Discord server, and the Freddy bot can give you the correct answer. Yeah, so because we have not enough time, so we will not do the live demo by myself. But if anyone interested in the QR code again, you can just scan the QR code and you can play by yourself. And if you have any more questions, you can ask me on the Discord server. I'm there as well. Yeah, and here's you can try if you want to try this. Here, this is the example. So the left of the screen is the most simple prompt. You can ask Freddy, write a chatbot, reply Dong when received Ding. It's quite simple, but it just demonstrates that you can deal with your message, right? You can receive, you can send. It's like file open, and you can file read and file write. This is the most basic. So if you ask this question to Freddy bot, you can get the exactly correct source code. You can just copy paste it just as you want. And if you want more complicated feature, you can just keep asking the Freddy. The Freddy can help you to add more features. And there's a more complicated example. Is that, for example, we have a big group on WhatsApp. It's like 500 people, right? And every time a new member joins this group, the problem is these new people do not know everyone because it's 500 people. So this example is like you can ask to build a chatbot to play a game. If some people in this group send a text message, say start game, then this chatbot will randomly pick two members from the chatbot from this group. And with these people who ask to start the game, these three people, the bot can help them, the three people to create another new group, which means they can create a new group for coffee chat or something. And anyone in this group, they want to randomly pick another two people to have a coffee chat new group, they can just send a start game, and the chatbot will very quickly help them to create a new group. So basically, this prompt is just to describe the requirement what I just described. And after that, the source code, if you can see, you can go to Discord. This is in the message history, and you can also ask similar questions. You can see the source code is very correctly generated, and you can just copy paste running it, or you can just modify it to add more advanced features. So it's very powerful and useful because the LLM today is like already can do this task well, and if we can expect if for the GPT-5 and the Gemini 3 something, definitely everything can be done here. And so there's some tricks building Freddy bot to make it to be able to generate the source code, answer the correct question. So if any people interested in this kind of a prompt or using LLM, you are welcome to find me today at the happy hour, or you can find me on Discord or LinkedIn. I'd love to discuss more with any people, because this year I will invest all my time to building this kind of this bot. And yeah, to recap, overall our objective with the Freddy bot is to enrich the onboarding experience for new developers in our open source community. So help them to better navigation, documentation, API, and solving development challenges. The future works I want to share with you is that what if we can use LLM to do two things. First, what if we can generate 100% correct, high quality full source code for the complete application? Which means if you want to build a very complicated chatbot, you can just ask Freddy bot to help you to generate all the source code. And what if the system, the AI can help you to deploy source code to the cloud cluster in production with zero maintenance as a managed service by AI, which means if we can do this too with the AI, the future developers, they see out what they want to build, and after a few minutes, they just get a running production cloud service. They can just scan the QR code and get everything. I believe this is very doable from this year, and the next year definitely there will be lots of projects will achieve this goal. And essentially, like the Gemini, we have like 10 million token size in research, right? So basically, for code generation task, we can just put all the source code related information to the context to make sure everything is right. This is very, very doable, and I'm so excited to try to use this to try some code generation. So this is today what I want to share with you. So everyone is welcome to find me and talk more. So it's like my goal is to like generate to build the best user experience, like from the plain English to source code, and finally we get a service in production for my users. And finally, I want to share this. The Sam Altman, he said the first year there's a there's a $1 billion company is possible, right? Using the latest AI. So which means we can just delegate all the job to AI. But at the beginning, I just want to delegate all the code generation task with my open source project for my open source community. I hope the developer in my community can be able to just get their chatbot by just saying some natural language. That's all I want to share today. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So find me. I'd love to talk more. Any questions related to this? Thank you.